Hello, good morning, everyone. So glad you're here. It's Matt and Dan. This is Coffee and Questions, and I'm
It
already
is
having
indeed.
audio issues, but we're going to work it out. Good
So
morning.
we've learned right now the way Matt has his mic set up. If I talk over him, he just gets really quiet. I said this is a
I
bonus. That means just
know. I don't know what's going on. Dan, you see, you solve one problem by getting better internet, and then I make another problem for us by just
you
messing up
know.
our audio and everything.
Well,
So, hey, good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. This is Coffee and Questions, where you can ask your questions, and Dan and I will answer them around typically live streaming stuff. But it really will answer anything, right?
yeah, I mean, just
Probably
about
all
anything.
whatever we're knowledgeable about. It might not be everything, but yeah. Hope you all had a good weekend. Um, Dan, anything fun happened this weekend for you?
I just kind of it's cold here in Louisville, so we kind of just
Hmm.
hung
Hmm.
out, stayed inside, stayed warm, had a fires, and just kind of played with the kids. That's what we did.
That sounds great. Yeah, word on the street is we could either get anywhere from 1 inch to maybe 18 inches of snow here this week. So
Yeah, I guess it just
it's all over
depends
the
on.
place.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on if it decides to get cold enough to snow or not. So we'll
Right.
see.
I'm really hoping we get a lot of snow. We'll see though. Uh, that sounds great. Yeah, I had a hockey game last night and we lost. I scored a goal, but I mean, what are you gonna do,
Hey,
right?
we're proud of you.
Thanks. Still got it. Almost 40. I can still score.
Yeah.
Uh,
So once again, everybody, this is Coffee and Questions, where Matt and I we realized it's easy to you know have some issues or want to get some answer or questions answered as far as live streaming is concerned, and we're up early drinking our coffee, and that's what we're doing right now. So
mhm,
feel free
mhm.
to ask your questions right there in the comments, and we'll answer them. Happy to do that. I've got that thing up there.
Yep.
We can just talk about anything too. So
Really? Oh, I
I'm
just
liking
saw
all the good mornings and hellos coming through here.
and
Um,
Kevin say he played 4 hours of pond hockey.
Yikes!
Man, oh, I'm
Gosh, pond
I'm
hockey's the
very
best.
very jealous. Oh, maybe one day. Maybe
Hey,
one day.
let us know too in the comments how's this look before. Like as Matt said, I just got new internet. I got the gig fiber internet now in the
Whoo
place, so we're
wee.
streaming at 1080p. Hopefully, it's looking good for you guys.
You had real slow internet before. Like, okay, it wasn't real slow, but it was
It just
slow
wasn't
comparatively.
reliable, is what I would say.
Yep.
Matt, you
Yep.
still have your teeth. Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta be careful with that 1080p now. Keep all your
Yeah.
teeth.
I'm all my chiclets. Dan, I've been thinking we should maybe like we do these on Monday mornings Eastern
Mhm.
time. We should think about doing like a different time because it's. I'm sure all of you watching, it's probably not morning for you, but we can have coffee at other times of the day. We should think about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
If you guys want to do we'll do afternoon tea or something. How about that?
Afternoon tea and questions.
Yeah.
Oh,
So we kind of mentioned right off the bat, but the sound. Do you want to talk about your setup and what's going on, Matt?
yeah. So I'm having some issues here. I have a Wave XLR that all of my audio is plugged into. This SM7B, and there is an extension that, for whatever reason, there's like an automatic gain detector. Like it basically is going to like mess with my sound. So it's every time it hears a background sound, or when Dan and I try to like talk over each other, um, like it's trying to like up and down my audio like all over the place, trying to like compensate for it. So I messed with it the other day, trying to like figure out one of my other video chats I do, and I just totally made it worse. So um, here we are.
Hey,
I
you
have to
know
have my
what?
hand on the audio, like on my little dial here, adjusting it as it goes up and down. So it was great to find out like just a few minutes before I went live, and I tried to fix it quickly, but I was like, it's not going to happen. I'm just going to have to like work through it. So there you go. Exciting, right?
hmm Kevin says, I
Uh,
think you should frame your video feeds with your graphics/background image. Oh, are you talking about the intro thing, or is that somewhere else, Kevin?
should frame your video feeds with your
I'd be
graphics.
curious because we're always looking for feedback how to make
You
these things
frame. Are you
the
talking
best.
about frame your video feeds with your graphics background images? He's not talking about on YouTube, right? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Let
Yeah,
us know what you
Kevin,
mean.
let us know because again, we're always open to hearing your all suggestions how we can make
Hmm.
this thing be better. I've learned so much from all the a bunch of Switcher Studio users, and we're hoping to pass some of that knowledge back on to you guys.
Yep.
No, the screen you're using now. You should frame your video feeds. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
kind of
Send me a link. Yeah.
the issue that I have right now is I don't have a ton of room on my desk. I need to reorganize or try and figure out a way to maybe get my camera up in front of me to get it more straight on. But yeah, oh
You
yeah,
should.
Kevin says he'll send us a link. Love it,
Perfect.
love it. Here's one. Do you want to maybe mention this?
Yeah.
The end of
I
this is I
see.
don't receive any response.
Yep. So we recently have started doing our feature requests a little bit differently. I think you probably filled out the form, I guess, and we've been going through all of them, the past couple weeks here, and organizing them. And like anytime we see more than one, like putting them together, making sure that we're actually getting everything. So be patient with us. Like it's kind of a new process. Like we're trying to make sure that we actually see everything, because you all would send them and they would be categorized, but then they kind of just would be like in the abyss, not the abyss, but like they weren't very visible to us. So we're trying to make it a better way. So yes, we did get your feature requests, and yes, we do read those, and yeah, so keep sending them. I don't have the link currently, and maybe Claire or Katie or somebody, if that's cool, we can post it here. So
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good
good
morning,
evening.
everyone here. Love
That's
what
right.
I'm seeing here, guys. So I'm not seeing a ton of questions coming through. So let's just have some fun conversations too. Y'all out there, tell me, what are you excited about streaming recently, or have you seen a live stream that you really enjoyed recently? Let us know. Um, you know, this is our show, right? We can say things like,
You can do whatever you want. Yeah.
share your live streams. If you're proud of something, put it in the comments here. Let
Oh
other
yeah,
people
that would be
see it.
great. That would be really
Let's talk
great.
about some of those.
And if you haven't already and you would like to, we have a Discord server that, well, I would love for you to be a part of. I'll drop the link here in the comments. Just started this about a month ago. Just a place for us to share our live streams, ask questions, really build community there. So let me grab a link real fast. And Dan, you wanted to also mention our YouTube, right?
Yeah. I'll just throw this lower third up here at Switcher Studio on all of our social channels. There's a good chance if you aren't watching this live, you're watching this on YouTube. So if you are watching on YouTube, hello and thank you for tuning in. If you want to catch us live, we're live on the Facebook page or one of our groups, the Switcher Studio Enthusiast Facebook group. So we do those every Monday at 9:30. But we might be open to some other times if you're watching after the fact and you're like, dang, I really wanted to watch this live, but I'm not up at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, let us know.
That's true. There we go. Awesome.
Here's a fun question. Where did it go? You guys are comments coming through quickly. Aside from running in a mixer, what else can I enhance our sound and get professional? So how can you make your audio sound better, I think is what this question is asking. And this is a great question. I would first check out the help center, support at switcherstudio.com, and there's a whole audio section that can help you find the best gear. I think the easiest way to make your audio be better is find the correct microphone or setup that works with your live production, like what you're doing. For instance, if you're just having one person talking, the mic I'm using is an iRing Mic HD2, and it can plug directly into your iPad or iPhone, and I think that's a great option. You can also plug it in like I'm doing through the Apple Multiport, and you can charge your iPad and everything while live. So, I think that's one thing. Along the same lines, like if you're in a really busy or loud spot and you need to pick up just someone's voice, a handheld mic is a really good option. Maybe you need to be hands-free you might want to use a lav mic or something like that. So I think if I had to give one piece of advice, it was find the right gear for you, or figure out what sort of live stream are you doing, and matching
Yep.
the audio gear to that.
And just being thoughtful about like your environment, like if you're in a big, like, cavernous church or building, like you probably don't want a microphone that's going to be like really far away, because you're going to get like, it's just not going to sound very good. Just being thoughtful about where you are. Are you outside? Are you doing like outside streams? Like you probably want to be thoughtful about the weather. Is there going to be a lot of wind? Like just being aware of this and then trying to find the best mic for your situation. So good question. That's a really good question.
Have we thought about an instant replay? Things like this have been considered and talked about. No update on this right now, but it could be something that we look to implement in the future. Again, I think we put the thing in there for feature requests. So if you follow that, we're going to continue making Switcher Studio the best product possible for as many users as possible. And this is one that does get requested.
Yep. I see a question here from Charles asking about will Switcher be on Android anytime soon? So short answer is no. Right.
Yeah. As the main switcher, no. It's just how we have our cameras connect. It's an iOS ecosystem is very friendly for it. That being said, if you wanted to use an Android phone as a camera, check out the remote guests option, and you can bring that in via the remote guest. So it is possible to use an Android phone as a camera, but not as the main switcher.
Yep, that's true. I see a comment here. It's a question as well from, good morning, Asia. Welcome back from vacation.
Hi, Asia. So she's back. Yeah.
Yeah, so glad you're back. Hope you had a good time. I see a comment question here from Alan. How many people are live for no real reason? If you're not interacting with the audience, there's no need to be live. Switcher is a great tool for things other than being live, right? Yeah, director mode is huge. We talk about this a lot, especially for like house of worship. Being able to pre-produce your show and then premiere it on YouTube or Facebook, and then being able to be in the chat interacting with your congregation, with your viewers. So absolutely.
I do love that thought. Yeah, I always tell people when they're talking about going live, it's figure out why are you going live? What are your reasons to go live? And then do that. For instance, this one here is like, we're live now to answer your questions. That is our goal, and that is what we want to do. We want to answer as many questions, or at least point people in the correct way on where they can get those answers. Maybe it's our support at switcherstudio.com emailing us, or somewhere on the help center, or just pointing them in the right direction. So I think it's very important when you're going live, think about, why am I going live? Is it to get as many eyes on this video as possible? Well, then tell people to share the video, like it, do things like that. If it's to raise money, use the donation features and use those. Like the new metered graphics can be great for those as well. Just again, kind of like the audio thing we mentioned earlier, it's figuring out how you can use Switcher the best for your production. And maybe that's not going live. Maybe, as Matt said, it's just recording, or figure out your goal for making this video, or what you want out of it, and go for it.
Great comment question there. That's good. Okay, here's one. Any one-on-one training or how to use Switcher? Any one training on how to use Switcher? So I'm guessing like one-to-one personalized training.
We're working on some video series for that stuff, and maybe going to be doing some webinars in the future. But I think the best bet right now is our support at switcherstudio.com, the help center, and our YouTube has a whole bunch of tutorials on it as well. Yeah,
the help center has a ton of articles that you can just kind of walk you through whatever you're trying to do. So be sure to check that out. So let's see. Leanne Lavin. Yes, that was my sound question, to add soft background music, for example. So Dan, you have some music, intro music here, and then outro music that you were using. You want to talk about how you got that in there?
Yeah, I could share that. Very, very simple setup here. Let me get rid of this so we can see. So this is just a secondary iPad I have set up. As you can see, I have this here. It's this intro music. And a plus button, and then down here is audio. You can come
Hmm.
in and you can pick audio from something. So if you've dropped it over via the switcher cloud or on the files, you can get to that. Let's go audio from a video maybe, and we'll do my recordings and do one. Hey, here's the clip we did on the last live stream where I'm recording a guitar. Adjust the volume how you want it. You can then bring it in,
Yep. So if you
click
want that
done, and
softer volume, yep.
yeah. So if you need it to be a little bit softer, you have it there. What I did for our intro music is Matt found some royalty-free music
Yes,
that
that's super
we,
important.
yeah, make sure it's royalty-free. You can't just go out there and get, some top 40 pop singers music and put it
Anybody
in
you
there.
want, yeah.
And what I did was I just used an audio editor. I used Audacity, which is completely free, and you can clip it down to a shortened size, the right
Mhm.
length. So I know that our countdown is a minute, so I shortened it down to a minute. Had a big long fade at the end of it, and just drop that audio in. I just call it intro short, and I have like intro music and outro, and then you can kind of play around with the level to make sure it matches your voice where you want it to be. Great
Yeah.
question though.
And just going back to the royalty free, we used Harris Heller or Stream Beats. Those he makes just a ton of different genre like songs. Like really, like, just this last year, I think he like there's 12 albums, maybe more than that, and you can get those on Spotify or YouTube or wherever you want to listen to music or get your music. Also use Game Chops. Game Chops is also royalty free. It's more like lo-fi, a lot more video game type music, but just being very thoughtful about the music you're using in your live streams, because you don't want to get flagged. You don't want to get your live feed disconnected. So
Mm-hmm.
awesome. Good question. All right, let's dive into a couple more here.
I see, Rich. This is another follow the link above to give us a feature request. Is an interesting thing, and this is something I do think you see with some like the very traditional video mixers. We're trying to be as streamlined as possible,
Mm,
but I could see the value of being able to set up shots on a separate iPad. I don't know if this is something we'll explore, but at least send this along or pass this along so it can get to our engineers and they can assess like how feasible or plausible it is.
yep. Cool. Quick one here from Patrick. What is the best type of camera to use with an iPad for switcher? I mean, honestly, like whatever iPhone you can afford to start with.
Mm-hmm.
Try to keep it above an iPhone 8, 8 and above, because the older the iPhone gets, well, the less reliable it gets,
So
honestly.
we'll do. I'll tell you what. Maybe it might be a couple weeks before we can do it, but we'll do an interesting video soon where we're getting some new iPads in. So I know we're gonna have a couple 11s, a 13. I have a 10
Yeah.
XS.
You're talking about iPhone, right?
Yeah, iPhone. What did I say?
iPad, but I get you.
iPad, iPhones. Yeah. But we'll set them up and we'll show you the difference of them. We
Mhm.
did this way back when. I think when like the iPad 6 or 7s, or I don't know, maybe it was when the 10s came out. We did it, but of course it's been a few years. And I'd love to see that new comparison. So I know we have some old like 6S's and 7s at the office. So we'll go in and we'll get a whole bunch of them, set them up, so you all can see the different quality.
Right.
As Matt said, I recommend getting the newest iPhone that is in your budget, because it's going to future proof you for as long as possible.
Yep.
Versus, you might get an iPad, or I'm going to keep saying iPad.
What's wrong with you today?
I don't know. More coffee, right? Um,
Oh, okay.
no, iPhone, like you might get an iPhone
Mhm.
7 or an 8 and then find out that the newest iOS isn't going to support that iPhone, and then you kind of have
Yep.
a really expensive paperweight or something at that point.
Yep. And I know that like some of you all use older iPhones and like the 7 and the 6s, and like they work most of the time, but what you'll start to see is like they just don't want to connect. The Wi-Fi is built different. Like
Mhm.
on those older devices, they don't connect. They don't stay connected well. So just being thoughtful, like it's as close as you can get to a newer iPhone, the better, just because it will last you a whole lot longer. But that being said, do what your budget will, can handle. Yeah.
Would you rather have 4 iPhone 7s or 2 iPhone 11s?
2 iPhone 11s, please.
I would agree with that. While it is, you could get or creative with the 4 different angles. I think having fewer shots and getting more creative with your graphics and use
Mhm.
some multi views and maybe even screen sharing with Switchercast for computer screen sharing or something. I
Yep.
think you can get. I think you're gonna get more bang for your buck out of the newer phones.
Yep. Yep. It's true. Uh, Great.
Checking in North Carolina,
Hello. Hello.
Charlotte.
Good
Hello.
morning. All right. Kevin says we jumped from iPhone 6s to iPhone 11 Pro. We saw a significant jump in specs at
Yep.
iPhone 11 Pro. Yeah. I have an 11 as well, and I think it's great. Like I'm usually a couple years behind on phones personally. So, yeah, I think the camera's great on it. I definitely would guess you saw a jump from the 6 to 11 because there was a lot of improvement from the 6 to the 11. So that makes sense. Um, yeah.
Couple more good ones here. I see in my experience, the older iPad would burn through my battery while using Switcher,
Yeah.
even while the device is plugged into an outlet. A couple things could be happening here. So, check the outlet that you're using, what plug is. If you're using like the small like plug that would come with a phone, that's not going to produce enough
That
power
will
for it
not.
to
Yep.
keep charging. So maybe try and find one of the bigger bricks or plug it into something else. Even you might be
Mhm.
plugging into a computer or something to charge it, and it's just not getting enough power.
Yep. Yeah.
Alternatively, like sometimes that's just going to happen. And what I recommend doing is dropping your screen brightness down. You'd be amazed at how much the screen brightness burns through your battery. So dropping
It's
that
true.
down will help out a whole bunch.
Yep. I agree. And there's some other ways to kind of like keep your battery from running out that quickly, like background apps. Like, are you
Mm-hmm.
refreshing or,
Yep.
yeah, that motion on your screen, like that can run through your battery quickly too. Yeah, but I think the first thing you want to do is make sure you're using the correct brick to plug
Yep.
in. I didn't know this for a long time. I was like, oh, why isn't this charging? Like, it's brand new. Why isn't this working? Like, oh, I'm using an iPhone charger and it's
Or it might
not
be a
going to get
bad
a
cable
charge.
if you're
Or
using a
bad, yeah.
third party cable. I'm sure Claire normally watches this. She runs our social stuff. I made a video about this like a while ago and it's just sitting on my phone. I'll send it to you after this so we can maybe put it up on Instagram or something. Just going through basically this question we're talking about.
Yep.
Let's talk about this one really quick. I keep getting iPhone busy
Okay.
message verified I wasn't logged in on multiple devices. How can I fix this? That's happening on one of two things. Either A, you're logged in on multiple. Now remember, if you're using a device as a camera, you don't want to click on use as switcher. You want it to be on uses remote camera is what you're, yeah, I think, is that what it says now? Remote
Yeah,
camera
yeah. I
still? Yep.
think something like that. Yeah.
Or just leave it on the splash home screen and that's going to be fine and that's going to fix it for you. You just have to be logged in on the main iPhone or iPad running switcher. I says message verified I wasn't logged in on multiple devices. Yeah, just make sure that you're on that home screen as we said.
Cool.
Let's see. Any other good
Okay.
questions here?
Oh, there's a lot that came through here quickly. Scrolling back up.
I'll talk about this one. Instagram, unfortunately, is closed right now.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can't use a third party to live stream to them. So right now, the best bet would be either I would say create your video in Switcher, maybe go to a Facebook page or something, and then you can use the clips and clip out parts. If you check it out, you can actually do the square one-to-one video, so you can make like Instagram friendly clips using Switcher Studio now. So that's how I would get video from Switcher onto Instagram.
Cool. Okay. Great questions, everybody. We have about 5 more minutes. We're going to run through as many of these as we possibly can. But if your question doesn't get answered, please just be patient. We'll ask it again next week, or we'll come back through here and answer what we can. Yeah, and if you're watching on YouTube, ask questions. We'll make sure to check in there as well and give you an answer, or just write us support@switcherstudio.com.
Yeah. I realized halfway through that Matt was stalling so I could read comments. And I'm like, I should be doing that, and I wasn't doing that.
I actually wasn't thinking that. It was. I wanted to make sure I got all that out.
Uh-huh. I
Did you
love it.
find one
Love it.
now?
I'm just looking through. I see a bunch of like feature request type stuff,
Yeah.
which
Yep.
again, use the link that we posted above to
Hmm.
add those through. Um, let's see this one.
Yeah.
Like people are saying here, I have a serious question. I'm in debate with my partners. I love Switcher, but they're talking about using a competitor or a different platform.
Hmm.
Honestly, test it out. Use what's going to work best for your production. I think there's going to be different solutions for different live streams, and with Switcher, we try and create a solution that's going to work with as many different types of productions and different things as possible. And we're proud of that, and that's something we strive to do. So we want you to use us, and I think if you test them out, I think you'll be happy with Switcher, and hopefully we'll end up using it.
Hmm. Agreed. Okay. What would you recommend for our church to use to be able? This is from Jasu.
Yeah.
What would you recommend for our church? Oh, there we go. Sorry, I
There we
muted
go. We're
myself.
back.
Able to use a DSLR camera and switcher, recognize it via Switcher Cast. We have a MacBook Pro and use main switcher on an iPad Pro. Well, I guess like my thought is like, well, if you have an iPhone, like I would.
So
honestly,
here's
like,
the thing.
Go
The
ahead.
more cables and plugs and adapters you add in, what you need to do to make this happen, it's going to get choppy and might not look as good as possible. Now,
Mhm.
mind you, I think if you want to bring in a DSLR camera, use the remote guest option. Get your DSLR camera to show up as a webcam. That's what Matt's doing
Mhm.
right now,
Yep.
and bring it in via the remote guest. I don't think using SwitcherCast to bring it in is a good option. SwitcherCast is more for maybe playing a video back or a PowerPoint presentation, things like that is what it really
Yep.
excels at. So that's how I would bring in a DSLR. Again, not just use your iPhones too. I think it can be really creative and a good option as well.
Yep. Yep. I agree.
Chris saying, "Ooh, love the look at the new Rustic, new color scheme chart." Yeah,
Oh,
this is one of our team members, Katie, put together. I don't. I like we have Katie, and she's Caitlin on our Slack channels. I don't know if it's
it's
I don't
it's
know,
Katie.
Katie,
I'm always like feel like I'm saying the wrong thing. I'm like,
yeah.
it's Katie, right? But
But
yeah,
she
we. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say she created all these graphics for us. I like that it looks like like a coffee stain or something, and kind of cool. So, yeah, shout out to making that look cool.
Great. Yeah. We probably have enough time for at
I
least one
I
more.
see like instant replay and stuff. Again,
Yeah.
it's things that we've talked about. We don't have a solution right now. You could play a video back, like if you're streaming to YouTube, and it's not going to be slow mo or anything. But we're looking into some solutions for a lot of different things. So I know timeline on when that's going to be available or
Mhm.
anything. But again, use the link above to share your feature request with us, and we're kind of starting to compile all those. We're really getting smart about it and sending that along to
Yep.
the product side of things, so they can make the decisions that are going to make Switcher the best thing for as many people as possible.
Yep. Perfect. I see a quick one here from Chris asking about has anyone asked Dan the when can we natively dual stream to two platforms question yet? No one has yet today asked that, at least during this live stream. Multi-streaming is coming very soon. We have a date in mind, but we're not releasing that date
Hmm.
to the general public yet. So soon, stay tuned.
Yeah, still a lot of testing to be done.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say maybe we can say Q1 is kind of our
Yeah, I
plan.
can say
But
Q1.
again, we're testing. We don't like to push something out before we know it's going to be 100% reliable,
Mhm.
because that doesn't, obviously you don't want something that's going to work half the time. So we're working on it. That is something we want to get out to y'all soon. So yeah, be on the lookout for it.
Yep. Cool.
Guys,
Well,
I see
a
a
lot of
whole
great
bunch of
questions
more
today.
comments come through. Let's wrap it up with this, because we're kind of out of time here. But keep these conversations going. You can follow us on all of the different social channels here. We also have the Switcher Studio Enthusiast and the Switcher Studio 101. If you're new, ask these questions, your basic questions in the 101. If you need some more, technical help, join the Discord, check out the enthusiast group. Those places are going to be really helpful for you. But yeah, overall, I would say, thanks so much for tuning in and hanging out with us today.
Yep.
Always fun.
You all are great.
Always fun to answer questions and drink our coffee in the morning.
That's right. I had one drink, and okay, here we go, two.
I know it's tougher on this because you guys are asking questions so quickly.
I hope you all had your coffee. Okay.
Cue the outro music. Go for it, Matt.
We'll be back in 2 weeks right here on the main Facebook page. But if you want to see our faces again, join the Switcher Studio Enthusiast group. We'll be back next Monday there answering more questions. So hope you all have a wonderful week, and I'll have my audio fixed by next week, I hope. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Take care.